Hello, welcome to my channel. My name's Catherine and this is So Much Sewing. This week is T-shirt week, or Fun with Jersey. I did actually have quite a bit of fun making these T-shirts. I'm sorry, there's someone, it's a beautiful day here. It's a little bit chilly. I've got a breeze coming in through the door, so it's a bit chilly, but I've got the door open so that the dogs can come and go. Although there's not much coming and going. I think they're out on the deck, on the back deck, sunning themselves in the sun, but someone is chainsawing, so I hope that is not too noisy for you. Anyway, let's get on with talking about the T-shirts that I made. I did say to you that I'm spending quite a lot of time at home at the moment, and I'm very short on sort of decent lounging around the house items, so I thought I would launch into making a bucket load of T-shirts, and that is what I did. The first one I started with is actually this one here, excuse me, by Seamwork. Sorry, it's the fin T-shirt. This has been on my radar for a long time because I love a raglan sleeve. I'm all about a raglan sleeve. To be honest, this style, with it being cropped like that and quite close fitting, isn't generally my vibe. So what I thought I wanted to do was just make it a bit sort of looser through the body and lengthen it, and keep the raglan sleeve. I didn't want 3/4 sleeves like that, so I did make some changes. I made it up using this viscose jersey fabric, which I've had, actually I got it from Spotlight quite a while ago. They did have a couple of different colorways, and I think they actually do still have some left, so if they do, I'll link it below. But so yeah, I made this. I ran, as you can see, I ran the neckband the other way, with the pattern going the other way. I did end up actually with 3/4 sleeves. I'm not sure how that happened because I didn't want 3/4 sleeves. And I did, you can see it's quite a boxy fit. I'll put a picture in of me wearing it. This neckline, you can see on the picture here, is quite high, and I didn't like that. It was right up here on me. I just didn't like it, so I actually made the neckline wider. I cut off, it was very scientific, I cut off 2 fingers all the way around, and obviously made the neckband to fit. So it's actually very comfortable. This is a lovely, comfortable jersey. The next T-shirt I made was from my beloved Tacara shirt, another Seamwork pattern. I'm really sort of having a renewed interest in Seamwork patterns at the moment. I did have their subscription for a long time, maybe a year and a half, so I've got a lot of their patterns, and there are a lot that I really do want to make up, so I'm going to try and make a few of their patterns. There's a dress, 2 dresses in particular that I really want to make, so you know, maybe stay tuned for those. I probably will make those over this, we're in spring now, over sort of spring summer. There's the Reggie dress, and there is also, I think it's called the Georgia dress. I did make both of these a long time ago before I lost my weight, and but I do want to make them again in my new size, so they will come up in the future sometime. But so my next T-shirt was off the Tacara. I shortened it into a T-shirt, and actually I didn't have enough fabric for the front. I had cut the back out and I didn't have quite enough to cut the front out, so I just put this panel on the front there, running it the other way just to get the length. I put the neckband on, running the pattern the same way round as for the body of the T-shirt this time. But this was one of my experiments. I did say to you that I was going to experiment with the Tacara and make it into some t-shirts. This is my first experiment with that as a t-shirt. I think it's successful in that I think it works well as a shorter t-shirt. The sleeve needs work. What I did was I just put a band on. I measured around the circumference of the armhole and just made a band exactly to fit, whereas I should have either made it a little bit smaller so that you stretch it on like you do with the neckband, or I've actually got another idea where I might just extend the pattern out a little bit further, so I extend the sleeve that way. But anyway, this is a really great comfy t-shirt, so I think this is a success, and I will go on to do more Tacara t-shirts in the future. The next t-shirt I made, you'll probably groan and roll your eyes, but it's another Elbe Textiles t-shirt. I put the long sleeves from the sweatshirt onto the t-shirt and extended the length down a little bit. I made it in this, actually I'm not sure, I think it's cotton ribbing, which I got from Trade Me. There was an ex-design room sewing designer selling off some of her fabrics, and she was selling some of this, and really, really lovely rib. What I like about this pattern is you actually, I really love the, can you see it? There's a curve on the side seam, and I just love the way there's sort of like a shirt tail curve on it. So on the side there's that curve, and the front, this part here, is shorter than the back, so it's just a really nice, and I just feel very comfortable in this style. I feel it's got really nice shaping for my body, and I just really, you know, it's actually my favorite t-shirt pattern. I need to find another one or two favorite t-shirt patterns, but this is my go-to, and I just absolutely adore it. The last t-shirt I made for myself is the Ada knit top by Seamwork, and I just really liked the lines on this. It's quite different. There's no side seam here. The this part here where the pockets are is actually the side panel. So I'm wearing it here. I've made it in this cotton jersey, so you can see there's no side seam. This panel here is the side, and the pockets are tucked into the side seams. It was such a lot of fun to make. I really enjoyed piecing it together. So it was pretty, you know, reasonably easy to put together. The instructions were pretty good. Certainly not the most dial arc patterns that any of us have ever come across. Yeah, I thought they were pretty clear, and you know, you did have to think about it a little bit because it's quite different from normal with that side panel there. But oh, and I did see some reviews where some people had said that the neckband was quite wide, was quite long, and that a lot of people shortened the neckband. So I saw that and I took note of that, and then I did cut it to the size that they gave me, and I sewed it together, the short ends together, and started attaching it or pinning it to my neckband. And I did see that, yeah, sure enough, the neckband was longer than it should have been. So I did shorten it, but I suppose it's good to have a little bit of extra length rather than not enough length, because, you know, maybe you're making this out, because it does say it's a knit top rather than a t-shirt, so maybe you're making this out of a much more stable knit, and maybe you need that extra length on the neckband. But anyway, it wasn't a drama to sort out at all. I did use some because you need to top stitch the sorry, rather you need to stitch the top of the collar down. And on this part here, on the bottom of the collar, pocket, have I been saying collar? I think I've been saying collar, but I mean pocket. On the top of the pocket, you sew that down, and here you sew that down. So what I did there is I used a triple stitch stretch stitch on my machine. I just used normal old thread. It's not Mariflex. Black, what do you call that? Overlocking. And so this black here is actually Mariflex. So I had Mariflex in the bottom bobbin and just standard thread on the top, and used a stretch stitch there. And then for the hem, I used my cover stitch machine. I use my cover stitch for all of these t-shirts. I love my cover stitch machine. It often works properly. It doesn't always work properly, so sometimes there's a bit of jiggery pokery to get it going right, but when it's going right, it is amazing. And it makes life so much easier for doing, you know, your hemming and stuff. I have never used a twin needle in my life. I can't even get my head around it. So I'm happy to have my cover stitch machine. So I really like this top, and I will make it again. The only thing I'm a little bit unsure about, and it was the first thing my husband said, was that there's some sort of pleating going on here. I think that if the t-shirt was a bit smaller, that would be greatly reduced, but then I need the extra width for around here. If it was tighter through here, I don't know how happy I would be with that. But maybe it'll look a little bit different in a drapier fabric, you know, something more like this viscose jersey, which is what I would make it in next. So it might be different, might hang differently in a viscose jersey rather than this thicker cotton. This here I got from someone's D-stash. The last two t-shirts I made are for my granddaughter Lisa. I got this pattern from Ellie and Mac. It's a new pattern release, and it's such a really great t-shirt for using up scraps or not using up scraps. As an example, the first one I made, excuse me, what I did is I just made one piece for the front. I just took all the seam allowances off where you join the different colours here. I took the seam allowances off and just cut one piece. So I just used some of the leftover jersey from my t-shirts, some fabric from each of them. And I just made this little jobby here for Lisa. It's got a, what does it say? "You are my sunshine" label in it. This, because this is a lot firmer than this, I don't actually know how that's going to go. You can see the difference between them here. So hopefully that's comfortable when she wears it, and it's not going to drive her nuts. I know the sleeves will feel absolutely soft and lovely and comfortable for her, but it might just be a little bit bunchy under the arms. I don't know. I'll have to see how that goes. And the second t-shirt I made for her is the same pattern, but I did do the colour blocking. And this fabric in the front here is a cotton jersey with basically no stretch in it at all. I had made something out of it for her a long time ago. I don't think she ever actually wore it. I can't remember what it was, but I think it wasn't comfortable because there's no stretch in it. Anyway, there was just enough to do the front panel. And this blue is from, you know, it's deep dark scrap stash I've had for the longest time. So that's a nice, very snugly, sort of almost brushed cotton jersey. So, and this one is, well, it started off long sleeved. It might end up being, it could be long sleeved on her, I'm not sure, but it could well be sort of like this sort of length on her. It did start off long sleeved, but my cover stitch was having one of its moments, and it was skipping stitches on the underside, and even there you can see it's quite loose under here, but it's quite nice on the top there, but quite loose under there. So obviously I need to play with the tension a little bit more, but that was after I'd played with the tension, because it was skipping stitches and pulling tight, so I ended up having to cut off. I did unpick a few times, but by the third time I just went, bleep it. I cut it off and just made a shorter sleeve. So yeah, so this is my favorite of all the t-shirts that I made. I love this so much, and I hope she loves it. I do know that the last item I made her, it was a cropped hoodie. I absolutely loved that thing, but it was really cropped up here and she hated it. So hopefully just because I love it doesn't mean to say that she's instantly going to hate it. But anyway, so those are the t-shirts that I made this week. Next week, I hope to have my next project finished. If not finished, then at least a good way done. My beautiful fabric that I talked about in my last video arrived. It is mostly cotton with about 10% silk in it, so you can see how lightweight it is. It just feels like a dream. And I am going to make another version of this Trend Patterns Pussy Bow shirt, and I'm going to hack the lower neckline of the Sew Over It Pussy Bow shirt on to this. I just felt that it was too much up here, around my neck area, so I'm going to put a V-neck bow on that. I think this will gather a lot nicer than the broderie did in my last version. That will gather so nicely. It will be much more drapey, and I'm really excited about it. So I hope it goes well. So that is it for me. Thank you very much for being here today. I hope you're well. I hope you're happy. I hope you're getting loads and loads of sewing done. And I'd be interested to know what your favorite t-shirt pattern is. We've all got one. Mine's the Staley tee by Elbe Textiles. So what's your favorite pattern? I'd be interested to know. So please let me know down below in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye for now.